Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday evening. It is 9 o'clock. Time to gather in the music room and have a live stream. But first, as always, little music. Enjoy.
We are all the heirs to Scotland, as a nation proud we stand. We will march beneath her banners to protect our ancient land. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum. To the world we bid a welcome in 1,000 different ways. We will toast to long lost friendships as we build our better days. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum. We are all the heroes of Scotland. We're a nation hand in hand. We will march beneath her banners to protect our ancient land. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum.
Good evening, folks. Nice to see you. Nice to see all of you. Apologies for Tuesday. I'm sorry I couldn't make it. Tom187, a new name to me. I don't know if there's any riots in Glasgow or not. I'm getting drunk tonight, he is declaring. Toffee, nice to see you back, sir. Missed you being here, as always. Resisting the lies. DJ. I have sent a few emails, DJ, to that good lady of yours. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tom187. Good evening, Woodlander. Uh, I've been trying to get in touch with PBC DJ. It is indeed the real Woodlander. Is there any other? Uh, Good evening, Streaky. Well, it's simply, DJ, it's very, very simple. Tight Scotsman has it's asked me, had she been in touch about the camera? And of course, she hadn't. So I sent her an email. Well, I sent you both, and it was addressed to both of you. Um, could you be in touch with the said party? And I left it at that. I thought it was simpler if I don't get involved in the details of the exchange of the camera. So that's really why I have been trying to get hold of her. I thought maybe with the schools being off, she might have been tied up with the family. Well, Woodlander, as you are here, I'm going to explain myself a little bit. When someone is put on morphine, now I'm going to just assume that nobody here knows anything about medication, especially morphine, okay? It's simpler if I take that route. Now, I have been on morphine for arthritis for a long time now, a long time. And part of the side effects that you get with morphine is it throws your indigestion system out of whack. Depends on how badly it throws your system out. Depends on yourself and your system. In my case, it started almost right away when I went on to the morphine. And they can't shift me from the morphine simply because of my body's biology. I don't know about craving sugar toffee. I mean, I've always been a sucker for chocolate, sweets, always been, my whole life. It throws the indigestion system out. It leaves me with chronic constipation. To such an extent that I can't do it. I'm just crippled with it. And I can't move then very far from the house, and that's why I'm always careful about where I go. I just can't go very far because of it. And that's what happened last week. And it started to bother me. And that spilled in to the beginning of the week. And of course, I was in no fit state then to try and come on here and speak to all you good people. Woodlander saying morphine sent his missus mental. They took her off it straight away and put her on diazepam. Well, I was in the opposite direction. They didn't put me on morphine straight away when I had when I was diagnosed with the arthritis. No, I get put on the straightforward stuff. But my doctor at the time decided to take a blood sample and send the blood sample up to the what do you call it, the hospital laboratory for testing. And one afternoon, about a week later, I got a phone call from my doctor. So you know how unusual that is. And he told me to get off the medication instantly, that it was seriously damaging my insides. And if I didn't get off it right away, it would have probably killed me. So he told me to go over. I went over and he instantly put me on to the morphine because there was nothing else. Right, Toffee, if you've got any kind of problems in that direction, you will know or have some good idea of what it's like, right? So if I'd have come on here, I wouldn't have made 10 minutes. I swear to God, I just wouldn't have got through 10 minutes. I find this all very embarrassing, but it's just the way it is. And there's not a lot I can do about it. I can't I can't plan anything very much. Well, that's exactly you're now into the territory I'm in, Toffee. Oh, Anglo makes me sick. Woodlander. Oh God, that's awful. Woodlander. She had two compressed discs, couldn't move for nearly 3 months. Disc pressing on a spinal cord. Whoa, that's highly dangerous stuff, that. Wow, that's awful. Sorry to hear that, Woodlander. So I was debilitated. And that's why I couldn't face it. And not to do with the cancer, oddly enough. This is what causes me more trouble than enough. And it's been that way ever since I went on to the morphine. It was awful, said Woodlander. She never stopped moaning. drove me nuts, but these phones helped. And this is another reason why and again, I'm addressing this particularly to you, Woodlander. This is why I'm very, very hesitant about coming down to Wales, because I'm worried that if I'm that far from the house and this starts up, I'll be useless. I'll be no good to anyone, and it'll just be an awful time. But that doesn't mean that I'm backing out of it, because I'm not. I'm still going to go ahead with uh, becoming part of this initiative. I've also got other ideas and plans in my mind that I want to put forward to the party membership to vote on. Good evening, Grill. Hey, oh, that would be good. That would be nice. But you can count on it. I've given my word. I'm going to become part of this initiative. And as I say, I've got ideas, but I want to put it before the membership of the party before I mention it to anyone else. It's for everyone's benefit, don't get me wrong. It's no competition thing. But I will definitely be joining. That's what concerns me. I haven't been far from the house since uh, I was diagnosed with a cancer. This is the trouble. I haven't been far. Along the way it is, I can't walk very far, for a starter. But if I was coming down to Wales, I don't imagine I would be walking very far anyway. You know, well, that's terrific news, Woodlander. That's just terrific news. That's what's holding me back, folks, personally. Is this condition I've got. Oh, there's Steve. Good, Steve. How you doing there, mate? Good to see you, Steve. Have a good time, whatever you're doing. And again, the other thing I can't do is I can't really gauge when this is going to affect me. I keep a calendar though of everything for the doctors. I had a couple of our lot and their families that their last few days, says Woodlander. I don't think they want to come back. Yeah, let's hope you're on the mend still, Rill. That's terrific news about on the brink of another piece of land. That's really, really great. It really is. If I get stuck with your forums, I'll write you an email. There's a police station on fire, says Hasdak. It's not so good. A lot of going on this weekend. Well, last weekend. Yeah, DJ is quite correct. It's coming down in buckets up here. Torrential rain at the moment up here, he's saying. Uh, and in spite of that, there's a bright orange sunset. Yeah, bizarre, right enough. Are you enjoying the summer riots off Streaky? It's getting out of hand. It's beginning to bubble. You would think they're timing it for autumn and winter, the dark nights. Sunderland kicking off. Yeah, I believe that is round your way, Toffee. Sunderland. Oh. Oh, I don't think they'll do that. How's that? I don't see them doing that. That would, on one level, that would be an admittance of failure. And there's a lot of reports about that, Tremelin. the police being ultra vicious, sparing no one, from what I've read. Is he really? IDF recruits, do you think, Anglo? These people are pushing and pushing for civil war. I know you all know that. Yeah, Woodlander's got a point. We don't really want riots and violence. But as he says, and he's right from that point of view, it's good to know that at least some of our young men have still got a backbone and are on our side. You're right, Treble M, of course. You're right. I heard that myself, Streaky. Some old beer. Good evening, Bass. Good to see you here. Toffee. I'm so glad I'm not in my early 20s now and I've ended up in the thick of it. I'm sure that's very true, Toffee. So we're pleased that you're not in the thick of it because you'd be no doubt getting huckled away to jail. It's the last thing we want. Any of our folk in jail. Doing your growing thing. A potato rebellion. Very good. Uh, have I upped the morphine? Actually, no, I haven't. The specialist did that a while back. Put it up to 15 milligrams per tablet. I take 2 tablets a day, one in the morning and one at night, along with a blood thinner for my leg. So no, and I don't actually have any authority to do that to myself. Because if I did it without any authority, Trevor, uh, the doctors might be reluctant to go along with what I've done. And I don't want cut off from the painkiller. So I would hesitate to do that. I've got to be honest. Before I took uh, arthritis, I had no medication whatsoever. I had no health problems whatsoever. And then suddenly arthritis struck. And as I said earlier, that's why I ended up morphine. And then, as you all know, cancer struck last year, beginning of last year, in fact. And that caused the blood clot in my leg. So I've got blood thinners for that. So I've never been one for taking pills. I've been very fortunate in my life as far as health goes. Do they ever check? Asked Robert to see if your blood becomes too thin. No, no, they've never checked. They just put me on the blood thinners, and that was the end of that. I take two of them a day, one in the morning, one in the evening. Well, think about it, folks. I mean, I haven't seen the cancer specialist since way back in April. I quite like it that way. I don't want to be inundated with pills and potions to take. I've never been used to it. My son has to remind me, in fact, make sure that I don't forget to take it. Custard. Rhubarb is incredibly easy to grow. A question for you there, Woodlander. This new piece of land that you hope to get hold of, um, has it got loads of trees growing on it? Toffee is asking, I hope your Sam's well. I like it when he's on the movie review streams. Oh, thank you, Toffee. He is well, yeah. Of course, the problem has been that Sansom has had his hours at work changed, and a nice clear area. Ah, that sounds great. That sounds really nice. Is that when you do that? Is this a collective endeavour, or do you have somebody like a solicitor or somebody uh, prowling the the internet to see what's available? That's a new name here, J. Jurkin Music. Well, that's the problem. I haven't spoken to him for ages either, Toffee. And this is why, because of these this change of work hours for him. Right, so you find the spot, and then you find out, you get the lawyer onto it and find out if it's for sale, and if it is, how much. Right. I thought it might be something like that. Well, that's nice to know that you're on Sunday, Toffee. So don't forget to tell your good lady, DJ, about the camera. Tell her not to let it go. Just, my emails have probably ended up in her junk mail. Johnny, Roadstar, another new name to me. Thanks, DJ. As I say, I wouldn't like her to lose the opportunity of the camera because It's a very, very generous offer that's been made to him. All these new names, it's nice. I must say, it's nice to see these new names here. Well, I remember, folks, would you please like, press the like button and share? You're going to feel sorry for all those mosquitoes catching AIDS from Africans. Just saying, said Sanklo. I didn't know that. I didn't know those poor African folk were getting infected by those mosquitoes. That's terrible. Uh, well, there's Margaret. Good evening, Margaret. Nice to see you back again, as always. Would you ever consider coming on the channel, on the stream for a blether, Margaret? Or do you just like to sit in the chat? You would always be welcome. Well, thank you for that. I'm feeling much better than I was. Oops. So, do the midges discriminate, says Robert. Have they any particular taste for gammon? Maybe someday. Yeah, why not? I haven't done it before. Well, there's always a first time. Johnny Road Star. By the way, all of yous, no chance, Scots Armour, yourself. The level of discourse is blinding. Yeah, it's nearly the weekend. Time to relax. Ah, there's Sid. Good evening, sir. Hello, John, says Johnny Roadstar. I watch yous on the two on the big telly in the living room. I put the laptop on to say hello and ask DJ the question. At one time, that's what I did. You know, when I first started out, I used to watch YouTube on the front room on the telly. Well, that's a long time ago now. How are those dogs of yours, Toffee? Are they doing okay? They must be getting pretty big, are they not? Treble M, I don't think he knows how many dogs he's got. Good evening, Pagan Tree. How nice to see you. It's nice to see all of you, of course. So, yeah. Ah, that's true, DJ. Religion isn't the thing that it once was up here. Thank goodness. Oh, you're doing a masters, are you? So, what's your subject matter, might I ask? You got six. Toffee's telling us he's got six dogs. My oldest Dixie went into retirement to live with my auntie a few months ago. What do you mean retirement? Dixie. I should put one. I've got a song that should just about suit you. Toffee, I'm going to put it on. Definitely. Now that I know that. I find it first, of course. There we go. Right, almost there. So, this is for you, Toffee. Specially chosen. I'm not going to say it's specially written because I didn't know you at the time when I wrote this. I hope you like it. It's called The Wild Dogs.
Way up in the hills of old Kentucky, every farmer has a savage hunting dog. The dogs are sleek and trim and mighty lucky, 'cause all day long they sleep just like a log. But when the sun has gone behind the mountains, they snap and howl and bellow at the moon. There's Max and Juke and Spot and there's old Lucky, 'cause they know they'll soon be running after Coon. Mr. Coon is hiding in the shadows, to the tune of hounds obeying from afar. He knows that he'll be running from the pack soon, and he's wishing he was hiding on a star. The chase is long and hard and finally ended. They've trapped poor Mr. Coon down by the stream. They're waiting for the shotgun man to end it, but they're howling and they're barking's like a dream. They're howling and they're barking's like a dream.
There you go. Juke. What's called Juke? Oh, I'm sure it is. I remember when there was one in the family, and I enjoyed taking Shia. Her name was Shia. Ah, I'm glad you like it, Toffee. Take her out for a walk. Not really the kind of dog that you've got, mind you. Never looked into who funded the alternative gauge. Interesting to look into it, says our Woodlander. Woodlander. I've met Ray Davis. Nice bloke. A true British poet. Likewise, Woodlander, we have something else in common. I've got a whole pile of their albums in the front room. The Kinks. We played support to them back in the 1960s. There you go. There's a little invitation has just opened up for you. And Johnny Roadstar. Oh, you like that one? Village Green Preservation Society. We are Village Green Preservation Society. God bless Donald Duck, Lord of a variety. Yeah, he wrote some songs. He did. I learned a lot from him, Woodlander. Not on a personal level, I mean, simply by listening to his music. I learned a lot about songwriting. They were banned from the USA in the 1860s. This is true. If you want my opinion for what it's worth, I know that he was rather vague about the reasons. He wasn't quite sure himself, but he did put forward something to do with the music unions at the time. But I think it was simply because they would have been there before the Beatles, and that could never be. So I think they were deliberately blocked from being first. Okay, doke, Woodlander. Speak to you soon. That's just my opinion for what it's worth. I always reckoned, by opinion, that he was a far better songwriter than either McCartney or Lennon. Well, thanks for being here, Johnny Roadster. Nice to have your company in the chat, brief as it might have been. But thank you anyway for being here. I heard that as well, Budgie. As I say, there's a few stories about why they got banned, but I can't help escape the idea that they were a much more interesting musical group than the Beatles ever could be. But that's just me. Toffee's telling us Ringo Starr is hated in Liverpool, and I didn't even know why George Harrison is ever Scout's favourite Beatle. Scouch? I don't know. Don't know why. I don't know. You see, thing is, although I belong to that generation, uh, I don't know much about the Beatles. I never allowed myself to get carried away by them. I was always a Kinks fan. I just thought their material was so much better. I really did. The only thing I can say, and I do realise that I don't have much knowledge to say this, but the Beatles did help a lot of other groups in those days get into recording. Not directly, but they did help by being such a success financially. And it did help other groups. Didn't help anybody up here, certainly, but it certainly helped a lot of English groups. Treble M's saying that I think Ergo Star said that Liverpool was a bit of a shithole and had no interest in going back. Well, that'll do it every time. Saying that about your hometown, or in his case, his home city. Commie, says Anglo. John Lennon was a commie. Don't get me wrong, folks. I'm not saying that they didn't write good songs. Yeah, of course they did. I just thought Ray Davis wrote better ones. That's all. I know you've said this before, Toffee, about this song. You've got very strong feelings about it. It's become a bit of a national anthem for communism or communist supporters. And for those who don't see through the words of it, Anglo's agreed. You got to remember, though, I mean, I say this sort of in defence, and it's probably because I've written a few songs myself that you don't always write with evil intentions. I know I didn't. I've never written a song with evil intentions. They also, Treble M, they also get children in schools to sing Streets of London. And that's a song that used to be titled Streets of Paris. He changed that when he came home. Oh, God. That right? Dear, oh dear, oh dear, Toffee. We did a whole silly project on it. See, that's the teacher's influence, thinking that they're doing something marvelous and modern with the children. But for every parent that thinks it's great, there'll be a parent who thinks it's crap. Strong opinions right enough on this. Well, I would certainly agree on that, Anglo. Music teachers should stick to music and not politics. The trouble is, so much modern music is interwoven with politics, especially, well, maybe not especially the Beatles, but uh, a lot of their material is political, deliberately so. Uh, Whereas I would argue that the Kinks is more satirical, observational, and It's it has a touch of sadness about it. That something has been lost. You listen to a lot of Ray Davies lyrics, you realise that a lot of what he's singing about is a lost England. Now, apparently, there was great rivalry between the two of them. Who could write the best or the most? I don't really know. As I say, I fell more towards Ray Davies and the Kinks. I was pretty happy when we got to play alongside them. And because I was a fan, um, I went out of my way to get a hold of their albums. Anglo, the Beatles and Rolling Stones were a bit before my time, but I prefer the Stones. I quite like some of the Stones stuff as well. Can't say I didn't. And as I said, there are Beatles songs I enjoyed as well. But if I'm pinned down, that's usually what I settle on. That Ray Davies in those days was writing about a lost England, an England that was already fading and had faded. And if you happen to have his albums or any of them, you'll you'll see that that comes across very strongly. Small Faces was a good group too, yeah. Sympathy for the Devil, yeah. There's so many great pieces of music around in those days, great groups. Competition was fierce back then in the 60s. You get onto the subject of the 60s music, you can go on forever. It's the trouble. uh, Anglo. What about the gay city rollers, John? Uh, the Bay City Rollers. I always feel sorry for them, to be honest. You know, they made a bundle of money and then it was looted from them. Terrible. Holly's another great group. did do their material really. Too many vocals, harmonies for us. And the rollers they were coming in as we were going out. And the other thing that began to change, and this is something that should not be forgotten, is that Ringo Starr was one of the powerhouses behind changing dance halls into discos. And of course, that did away with all those venues for people like myself. But of course, by then he was a millionaire, so why would he be bothered? But he was one of the people that pushed that forward. It's probably complicated and not as simple as I'm making it out. Yes, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't done it already, but I'm sure most of you have, if not all of you. I've been sitting on this number of subs for long enough. And if you get above a certain number, you start to make money from it. Well, if it's 16 likes, Treble M, then there's not a lot we can do because that's what the count says, 16 people. It's a very small channel. And getting smaller, by the way. It's getting smaller. I wouldn't like to have a giant channel anyway, to be honest. I like the idea of getting to know you folk. And I think you would lose that ability if the channel became too big. Well, that's true, Treble M. There are new folk coming back. Come in. Paint it black, yeah. Da, 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 dee, da, 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 dee, da, dee. A lot of their material, of course, was used for the Vietnam War. Not just the movies, partly the soldiers. Were very fond of it. About the Stones, that is. very popular with American soldiers. Yeah, we used to think that was a bad time. It seems quite sedate now compared to what goes on now. Or that's the thing I'm not sure about. Is it simply because I'm older, or has things got worse? Hashtag. I got a load of albums of theirs for a pound. Some still in their wrapping. Used to get stoned to Odin Nougat Flake. I saw a red door and wanted to paint it black, yeah. Very good. Very good, Streaky. I see a black man and I want to paint him black. Hey, red. Oh, that's Honky Tonk Woman is one of my favourites. Absolutely one of my favourites. Really, really is. And the days when I lived in a high flat, this is a true story I'm going to tell you now. We lived in a high flat, sixth floor, and we had terrible neighbours, very noisy, especially on a Saturday night with music. Crap music, I might add. So one Saturday afternoon, we used to come to Greenock to visit my mother, take the wee fella down to see his granny. So I said to Helen one afternoon, "Do you know I'm really fed up with these people. I'm gonna I'm gonna give them a taste of their own medicine." What are you gonna do? So I took Honky Tonk Woman and I put it on the record deck and I lifted the arm up so that it would play over and over and over again, which it did. And then I put the volume up really quite loudly. And then we went out. That's a favourite one for a lot of folk, has that. We used to drive around nicking petrol over the weekends. But yeah, I've still got 45s in the front room. And Honky Tonk Woman is one of them, I assure you. Brilliant. It's the intro. I mean, it's interesting to me because the intro I know is being played on a Fender Telecaster with 5 strings, not 6, and it's in the open tuning. Uh, I'm going to try and do some ironing over the weekend. Triple M. Does that qualify? Writing. Oh, there's Ether Elephant. Yeah, I am. Thank you very much. Monday, I've got 4 tickets booked for a sea journey. Well, we're going for a ride on the Waverley paddle steamer down the Clyde, down as far as Largs. 4 of us, myself, my son, my sister Alison, and my adopted daughter Lorraine. So we're hoping for the weather to brighten up again. Now you're right, Streaky. They shouldn't be doing that. They should be protecting themselves. It's, it sounds like a great piece of bravado, and it is. But in the long term, they may come to regret it because they will get nicked. And you're quite right for saying it. They will. So that's what I'm hoping to be doing on Monday. Don't want any of our lads getting lifted. As that, I was young and stupid back in the early 90s. No excuse for stealing. I was lucky not to get caught. Yeah, that's for sure. The trouble with that stuff is it makes you feel good at the time, but for your long term future it can be disastrous. Streaky bacon. I am old and stupid and I steal from the rich supermarkets and give to the poor. That's me. Sainsbury's. Yeah. You do like Sainsbury's, Streaky. Yeah, I've said many, many times. A nice police station meal afterwards. It's not worth it, folks. I know we all get tempted. We all get lured into the idea. If you got to do something, you have to do something smart, not something stupid. That's my view. Why make it easy for them? That's the other thing you want to start thinking about. Why make it easy? There's no point in making it easy. We have to get smart, folks. Do the smart thing, not the stupid thing. Getting involved in the community is a smart thing. Buying, buying up land is a smart thing. Getting your head kicked in a riot is a stupid thing. In Scotland, we can stand for local elections. They don't cost us money. That's a smart thing to do. Buying land is a smart thing to do. As like it was easier back then. It was no number plate recognition. Exactly. Not as many cameras, and the police cars were slow. Absolutely. We all get it. It's tricky. We all get the frustration because we all feel it. And Treble M is absolutely correct when she says what she's saying. They insult us at every moment, every opportunity, because it's a spiritual war. And they're on the dark side, and they're going to lose. They will lose. They are losing. Anglo. Brits broke the Enigma code in World War II, and they did. Bletchley Park, yeah, turned into GCHQ. We've been surveilled ever since. And you're probably right, Anglo. You're probably correct. And I would be at all surprised had it been going on long before World War II, using whatever tools they had back then. Trouble is that ordinary people like ourselves have always allowed others to take the reins of power from us. When the Labour Party was formed in its very early days, it was made up entirely of working class people. But pardon me, those working class people were educated. not through university and colleges, no, through public libraries. And they were more dangerous than anything else. But working class people were allowed themselves to be talked into the idea that we should really leave it up to the better educated people. Which was nonsense, in my view. Hasdaq got accused of twerking thing is I couldn't drive. I hung around with the wrong lot. Some aren't here anymore. Well, that could happen. My stepbrother was the same, Hasdaq. You see, he was a he was a very tall, a very well built, athletic young man when he was in school. Truly athletic. And he was very good at sports. He wasn't very good at anything else really, but he was good at sports. And he became a target to those people who consider themselves uh, hard cases. I've never heard the word Hasdaq. Thank you for that. Obviously, it's somewhat localized twerking or twerking. And as I was saying about my stepbrother, his life was uh, dominated by this carry on, simply because uh, he couldn't ignore it. He always rose to the bait of street fights. Ruined his life, essentially. But he was not alone. Plenty of other people. It's difficult for some folk. I didn't. I didn't ever get myself. Well, I never got in any more trouble than any other lad at school. You know, a couple of bullies. Fascinating. Fascination here has that with the cars, eh? Of course, when I was very young, there was very few cars. Not proud of it, he said, Hashtag. So I would try to steal and then crazier. So there you go, folks. I hope your weekend is a peaceful one. Don't get yourself involved in any of these riots. For goodness sake, don't. Please don't. Obviously, if somebody tries to hit you on the street where you happen to be, you will defend yourself, of course. I left the door open on my brother's Scooby. It rained hard, through the whole thing. What do we do if they come at you with a pointed stick? I know I've got a cheek to talk, either an elephant, because I've got a big heavy stick that I carry. So if somebody comes at me with a pointed stick, they will know the weight of my cane. And I have given my cane the title of Edward Hyde. It's a bruiser of a cane. So you have to defend yourself. That's one of the problems in this. Well, one of the main problems. Yeah, you've got to defend yourself, Ether. Absolutely. You don't stand there and wait for the police to arrive. You fuck it. Oh, you'd be dead. I nearly slipped there. I did slip there. Sorry about that, folks. You'd be lying dead in a pool of blood. Time the police arrive. Yeah. It's something I get angry about because it's just lunatic ideas in a time, in an age when men were gentlemen. Simply place a chunk of pineapple and a cube of cheese on the pointed stick and invite them to a 1970s dinner party. I know, Treble M. It was a real lapse there. That's why I bought the cane. I bought it long ago, many years ago, long before I ever needed to use a cane. But I bought it deliberately as to be a weapon of defense for myself. Pineapple with his curry. This is Triple M. But That's why I bought it. Pineapples and prawns, Streaky, eh? Pineapple and gammon steak, how about that? Used to think it was very sophisticated when we went into a restaurant back when I was a teenager and ordered that. Oh yeah, that's what I have, gammon steak and with pineapple, please. Yeah, very sophisticated. And I keep my heavy cane is kept at the front door. And the folk that have come to visit me, like DJ and his good lady, and he who no longer comes to the channel, Viking, and Skywalker, they've all seen it. Oh, pineapples, that's for sure. Still are up here. All fruit, vegetables expensive up here. But yeah, I thought that one day I would need it, the cane. That's why I bought it. Good question, Treble. I don't think so. I don't think so. I assume that his mother has passed away by now. She was pretty close to death when I spoke to him last. And he'll be very devastated by that, of course, as we all are when it happens. But no, I don't. I don't think he'll return. The trouble is, in my view, for what it's worth, uh, the thing he needs to make him whole again is something that he hasn't or he didn't have. Whether he's got it now or not is another matter. And I think what he really needs, it's an old cliche, but I think it's true. I think he needs the love of a good woman. But he's not alone in that, is he, folks? I came to visit me, Streaky. Drove over 100 miles to see me. Brought all the gifts of art that he brought. And I was very fond of him myself. But politics wasn't moving fast enough. It, it was not the thing to heal our Skywalker. What he needed was the love of a good woman. Well, that's lovely for you to say that, Anglo. Your streams are lovely. It's like being part of a family. Thank you. I appreciate that. Tremendous compliment. Dad, yeah, he is a very good artist. And he shared his art around the party members. I should know. I posted them all out myself. I've got two just on this wall. You can't see it. This wall here. I can see them all the time. That's right, Treble. You've got two of his watercolours. I spread them out. I was really sorry that he left us. Really, I'm sorry that when anybody leaves us, I don't like losing viewers, supporters. Those Streaky, he doesn't sell them at all. He gave them. He gave them all to me to give out to others in the party on his behalf. I am your father, Luke. That's it. And I gave them the names of the folk I was going to give, and he approved it. And then I sent them out. You may well be right, Streaky. I'm not sure about that. I think he keeps himself hid under a bush. It was a beautiful thing to do. 42's got two of them as well. My sister's got one, I think. Oh, he's one of the best. Yeah, I gotta go myself, folks. Nice to see you here again, Bass. Oh, you're off to watch the peaceful gatherings, are you? Joe Marsh is streaming at 6. Angela tells us. It would be nice to hear from him, says Streaky. Joe Marsh. You can never tell who turns up for the outro music. Anyway, as I always say, folks, thank you for being here. Without you, we have nothing. And without you, we have a man talking to himself. So anyway, like I always say, adios, au revoir, cheerio, and until Tuesday, all being well, I'll see you then. So take care of yourself, enjoy the weekend, and don't get yourself into trouble, for goodness sake, please. Enjoy the music.
Silently the snow falls, paints a winter scene, swiftly spreads the dark rim, hides the fading autumn green. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, conjure friendships dear to me. Lightly now the breeze flows, disturbing more than just the leaves. But life's much more than we can know. We are one small glow in the eternal flow. Patiently the love grows, lifts the weary heart. Gently now she holds me, melts two worlds once apart. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, usher dreams of you and me. Softly then the breeze blows, disturbing more than just the trees.
Together now,
But love's much more,
so much more
than we can know.
than we can ever possibly.
We are one small glow,
But an important glow.
in the eternal flow. Melodies of long ago, songs of innocence, harmonies to soothe the soul, paths of consequence. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, awaken joys of you and me. Silently the snow falls,
Hi there, Packer.
bringing winter symphony.
All together now,
But we're much more
so much more
than we can know.
than we can ever possibly know.
We are one small glow,
But an important glow
in the eternal flow. But life's much more than we can know. We are one small glow in the eternal flow.
He did indeed, Anglo. Quite correct. So you all take care now. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and all being well, I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye just now.